And here we go with the feature stage, the Queen stage of the Tour Down Under, McLaren Vale to Wollonga Hill. Obviously, McLaren Vale being one of the premier wine kind of areas in the world. Obviously, we also have the Barossa, which is another one. We are quite well known for wine and churches here in South Australia. Obviously, double ascent of Wollonga Hill. It's not steep as if it was the Col de Tourmalet or anything like that, but it is certainly enough for Plappy, who is not going to launch over the first one. We're going to drill it, over, and we're just going to ride to the base, do a mountain train straight up, sprint finish, jump away with ideally about 2 kilometers to go, see if we can get a gap, and then sprint and get the gap to the finish. That's the ideal. Points classification, we are not in the running for anything useful. Best climber, Schmid. We're going to see if we can get in Wickham Hill if he's close enough. If not, we'll get in that first ascent because we are close. There's no real strong winner of that so far. Young Rider will jump if we need to. I'll say if we need to, ideally. If Blappy wins the overall, he probably wins the Young Rider. That's a pretty safe bet. Anyway, we will be back once we are loaded in. And we are back here for the Queen stage. Get excited. Schmid is in our climber's jersey. Obviously, all the attacks are about to start absolutely flying. Going to get all my boys up to the front if I click the right buttons. Going to have some good protection on Plappy here. We are all in on Plapp. Obviously, he got 4th on this stage in real life, which was taken out by Jonathan Narvaez. It was a nice little scenario with Narvaez and Onley, because obviously last year, in the 2024 edition, it kind of went in the opposite direction with Onley taking out ahead of Narvaez. That being said, in this one here, Narvaez is still a major threat. Onley as well. Bauhaus should be out of the running. Stevie Williams was expected to make a bit more of a difference than he ended up doing. I don't know where he ended up finishing, but it weren't in the top 10. Romo Oliver in this stage went early on the climb. He looked strongest, looked good, was caught and passed by a group containing Narvaez Onley and Finn Fisher Black. All three went past him, forced a small gap. Plappy just missed out on that group, and Narvaez took out the sprint finish ahead of Onley, ahead of Fisher Black. Plapp led the group with Romo in, Romo Oliver, and he lost the jersey. Narvaez ended up taking out the Oka jersey for the rest of that the stage after, which is obviously just a circuit loop around Adelaide, down past the beautiful Adelaide Oval and the very dirty river. But isn't that all major rivers through major cities? Yeah, for this one, like I covered, we are going to ascend this at a rate of speed, ideally. Just really put everyone into the hurt locker and then drill it the entire way to the base of the second ascent, and then essentially do a little mountain lead out with Plappy as the ideal, with Schmidt second, and then Harper is going to lead us up the base of the climb. So it's going to be Harper, Schmidt, and then launch Plapp. He doesn't have the greatest acceleration, but he just has, when you take Luke Plapp to this event, he's your leader. Essentially, yeah, we won't have the opportunity to take out the climbers classification. Harada, if he wins this, will take our spot at the top of that classification, so we'll see who takes it out and what implications that may have for us. Gloak, I would not mind if he took it out. Ideally, we don't want Harada getting any points. Glogi, Lesurf, Knox, Harada had a little bit of a glitch moment there. Climber provisional, still Schmid and Plappy. Luckily, Glogi didn't have any points to that point. I'm going to continue just really booking it through this. we don't have a whole lot to do. I might stick Stuart on the front just to show our face, and claim that we were doing something or stage given we're going for the leader's jersey. Earn our right at the front, as they'd say in real life. If you're going to sit on the front later, stick your man on the front at the start, signify your intent, and just get really into it. Ineos also signifying their intent with Lucas Hamilton, I think that is. I'm not great with names, as you can tell. Lucas Hamilton at the front. We have Chris Hamilton. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I knew there was someone called that. Ineos, yeah, signifying their intent, likely riding for Sheffield, who got 8th, I believe, in this stage in real life, just off memory. Tronchon got a good result here, as did Glogue, who I think got 7th. This is the first stage in this tour that Jake or Lula really looked like they wanted to be involved. As bad as that sounds, it just looked like in every other stage they were just kind of passive. From what I could remember, I didn't notice them too much. They didn't appear to do a lot, just kind of were there, which is not what you want to do for your sponsors in your home race. That being said, they did make an effort on this stage. They did ride some pace. They did do what they had to do. We have a large split again. I mean, I'll check what that's about later because I assume it's just the same thing. But there is no reason we should have this many splits just constantly. Decent enough chance. I mean, we've got enough water. Whilst we're up here, I'm gonna get the other boys prepared because this is how it's gonna go, and Durbo is just gonna have to try and do his best to help out when the time comes. But for now, we are gonna get ready. These boys have to be ready to go at the pace they need to. And once we get to the base of this climb, we will start. And I think that counts. Energy gels are on. Durbo as well. These boys should be able to survive at 80. I'm not sure if they will, but if they need to go up, we will put them up. Sheffield is drilling the pace, which likely means they're going for Geraint Thomas, who I think will be somewhere back here. There he is. He might be their leader for the day. We're not wanting to use any red, but I might have to. As long as the pace is staying high, I'm fairly happy with whatever happens on this climb. And we're ensuring that pace stays high by having our boys stay up there and just be ready to absolutely drill the pace. Schmid is going to see if he can move up and take the points. He's running a little bit low on time, which he might have to just do this. Gets to the front and will secure himself as the leader of the King of the Mountains classifications for this tour. So already, if someone came to this and got that, they would treat that as a success, I believe. Jake or Lula would be happy with that. And obviously a high finish for Plapp. We're going to see if we can get the high finish. We want to see if we can really kind of create a winning opportunity for Plapp. Take 7 seconds and win the stage, and that should be enough to dethrone whoever is the leader. I've never had issues getting the sprinters out the back on a climb like this when you really up the pace. They just don't have the stats for it generally. Michael Woods is a big threat, although he's 2 minutes down, which, like I said, I feel like that's just one of those where he got dropped out the back for no reason on one of those other stages and is now paying the price. I think it might be time to get Durbo to take us up to the front. So we're going to get in the wheel and just get ready to really light this race up. Because the group is so spread out, it's going to make it easier for us to pull to the front. Although getting put to the back like that is not ideal. I'm going to drop this to 80 just to give our boys a chance to get to the front. We're then going to tell these lads that their time on the front is done. their job for the day is completely finished. Stuart as well. I've completely forgotten about him. I apologize. He's just going to sit in this group on 70, see if he can survive. As Durbo comes up, we're going to get in a race with the front of the peloton. He's going to start doing this. We're going to try and use our energy gels at the best times for everything. We'll see if it works. The moment we hit the base of this climb, we're going to move over for Hamilton to start drilling pace. Durbo is going to get out of the way. Harper is going to lead us up the base of the Wollonga Hill. Sheffield on the wheel, starting to get a little bit of gaps forming. Ready to go is Schmid, who's going to launch. Plappy sat in the wheel as he should be, and he goes around the outside of Mauro Schmid, and that should ideally be the stage win, and hopefully the gap and the time wins for Luke Plapp at his home race, drilling it to the finish. Needs every second, ready to celebrate as he crosses the line. What is the gap? I think that will be exactly what we needed. Nick Schultz, no one who was that far ahead of us, and even then I think we had it. I think we had a maybe 15 to 20-second gap. That has worked out exactly as I had hoped. Nice when our plan comes together, coming around the corner as the king of Wollonga Hill, Lucas Plapp. As we take a look at the results, if I am correct, we switch across to General, and Luke Plapp takes the top spot. Mauro Schmid takes second by 1 second ahead of Phil Bauhaus, and we just managed to do enough. On the points, he makes his way into the top 5, which would be a nice little bit of prize money. Mauro Schmid takes the KOM, which is amazing. So, winner of the time, Young Riders and Mountain and Team, although no one particularly cares about Team. So long as we don't do anything stupid tomorrow, or nothing stupid happens, we should be all good. If you did like how that played out and our plan and the execution of it, I urge you to leave a like, subscribe, do whatever you feel like you can do, and see you guys next time.